What up, what up, what up, y'all? Mr. Manager here with yet another video finishing up Group A of our World Cup previews. Today we have the Netherlands facing off against Senegal in their opening game of the group stage. The Netherlands, also known as Holland, I have absolutely no idea why there's two names. If someone could explain that to me, also tell me who the Dutch are. Seinfeld reference. Anyways, they speak Dutch, capital is Amsterdam. Let's take a look at their footballing history, which is a good one. So this is their 11th World Cup appearance. They were the finalists in 74, 78, and 2010. More recently, however, they did miss the 2018 World Cup, which for a footballing nation of their stature is a huge embarrassment. If it could only happen to a big country twice in a row. Oh, Italy. Anyways, here's a great shot of Nigel de Jong putting his foot right through Xabi Alonso's chest in the 2010 World Cup final where they lost to that wonderful Spain team. Let's take a look at where they're at right now. They qualified getting first place in Group G in European qualification. They're currently ranked 8th overall by FIFA, which is probably an accurate reflection of how talented this team is. This is a very, very good Netherlands team. Clearly favorites in their group. Let's take a look at some of the reasons why. First of all, we got VVD, Virgil van Dijk, the prototypical center back. Tall, fast, smart, strong, good in the air on an offensive set piece, great with his feet. Like, there's just not really a hole in his game. Things are not going well at Liverpool right now, but do not allow that to distract from the fact that Virgil van Dijk is still the best center back in the world. Well, second best after, of course, William Saliba. That's a joke, but only kind of. Anyways, Virgil van Dijk, an incredible talent, and at the heart of this Netherlands team, holds the defense together, same as he does for Liverpool, and gives those in front of him freedom to create. But, he can also contribute to attack as well. He's just good. Now we got our boy, Frankie de Jong. Poor guy. He's a center defensive mid, still valued pretty highly at 50 million euros on transfer market. He's only 21. He was a part of that amazing Ajax team that made a run to the quarterfinals 3 or 4 years ago. Made a move to Barcelona. Safe to say it hasn't really worked out for him there. He now is in this position where he's desperately trying to leave. He was trying to leave in the summer and wanted to go rejoin his old coach from Ajax, Erik ten Hag, at Manchester United. And Barcelona, for some reason, is just like holding him hostage and not letting him leave. I don't really know. I'm not following Barcelona. I don't know if he's a key player on their squad at the moment or why they're so desperate to keep him. Everything at Barcelona is just kind of a mess. So I have been ignoring news articles about them for a while. Anyways, De Jong is probably happy to be playing with the national team right now, to have that just take him away from that Barcelona situation, distracts him, and now he's just going to focus on the national team. He is their engine. He makes them go in the midfield, providing a link between a defense and attack. He's technical. He can win the ball back. Just a very, very, very solid center mid, and will be at the heart of a lot of what the Netherlands try to do. Now, their best attacker, and there are many, many, many good attackers, is going to be Memphis Depay. And it's crazy to me that Memphis is only 28 years old. It feels like he's been around forever. He was a great young talent in the Netherlands, made a move to Manchester United at a young age with a lot of hype. Didn't really end up doing that great for Man U, moved to Lyon in France, built his reputation back up, and now is playing at Barcelona, and I feel like he's been there for a little while now. I can't recall, but it just feels like he's been around forever. For all the inconsistency he has had in his club career, he has actually turned into the most consistent attacker for Netherlands, kind of by far. So the news that he got hurt recently was a big deal for the Netherlands. So he led World Cup qualifying in Europe with 12 goals. And like I said, the Netherlands automatically advanced out of their group. He's core to what they want to do offensively. He can really kind of play anywhere across the front line for them. I think he'll probably line up as a striker, maybe just behind the striker, or maybe on the left. Who knows? I don't know. They have a lot of attacking options. We'll see in their first game against Senegal if he's healthy, first and foremost, and then after that, we'll see what they want to do up front, because they have, like I said, a lot of options. One of my favorite options is this kid here, Cody Gakpo, who's a name that has been kind of passed around as a wonder kid type, or at least a talented with high potential youngster for a while. He's getting up there for a wonder kid, so to speak. He's 23 years old now. But that's not old. I shouldn't say that is old. That's the Football Manager player in me talking. Anyways, the dude is dope. He is a winger playing for PSV Eindhoven in Netherlands. That is like the second best team in the Netherlands, if you're not familiar with their league, after Ajax being the best team. So far this season, he has 9 goals and 12 assists in 14 games. So that's 21 goal involvements in 14 games, right? That's 1.5 a game. Even in a league like the Netherlands, that's an okay league. That is an impressive haul. Some of those goals also came in the Europa League. He is almost guaranteed to make a move this summer, if not in January. He's ready for a new challenge. He's listed at 45 million euros on Transfer Market. I think with a decent World Cup, he doubles that. I could see easily Man U dropping 90 on him just because they spend money like crazy. And they like shopping in Netherlands now that Ten Hag is their coach. Anyways, he's a player to watch. He can play on the left wing, can also play behind the striker sometimes for Netherlands. He'll be one to watch for sure, particularly if Depay is not raring to go. So, how will they qualify? I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Basically, if that goes to plan, they are by far the most talented team in this group. They should win every game. Perhaps a tie against Senegal could be acceptable, but other than that, everything will feel like a failure. Not advancing will be an abject failure. The question about this team is how far can they go, really? I have them probably going through to the quarterfinals. I can't recall my bracket, or perhaps losing in the round of 16, but they have the potential to make a very, very, very strong push. There are not a lot of teams in this tournament more talented and deep than they are, and depth will be an issue simply because it's hot in Qatar, and these players have not had a large break in between their domestic season and then the pause that happened right before the World Cup started. Let's take a look really quick at why we should cheer for them. So the biggest reason is history, and I'm not going to go too in-depth with Dutch footballing history. I mentioned earlier they've been to many World Cups, they've been in many finals and lost them, including this is the 1974 team, which was dubbed the Clockwork Orange. Their influence on football just cannot be understated. So they are the most popular, second place finisher of all time, runner-up of all time in football. They were this great Dutch team at the same time that Ajax was in its biggest years of prominence as a power in Europe, not just in the Netherlands. And they had this style of football that people had really just never seen. They played with fluid positioning, sharp passing, high pressing, quick passing as well. And they had one of the greatest players of all time, Johan Cruyff, at the center of all of it. One cool thing about this team is that you can easily draw a direct line from, Ajax and Cruyff to this Netherlands team to Barcelona, where Cruyff played and was a coach, and then La Masia, Barcelona's academy, Pep Guardiola's tiki-taka football. These things did not happen in a vacuum, right? There would be no Pep Guardiola tiki-taka Barcelona team without the Clockwork Orange of the 1970s. A little bit more about their history. They are kind of in this always the bridesmaid, never the bride sort of zone as a football team. They've been runner-ups 3 times. I remember very vividly watching them lose in the 1998 World Cup to, I want to say Brazil. I believe it was in the semifinals. It was either Brazil or France. I can't recall, I think. And then they played Croatia, I believe, in the third place game. Anyways, They do not make it to the final, and I remember my father telling me, describing them as the best team to never win a World Cup, and I didn't really know what that meant at the time. But if you look back at their history, there's definitely a case to be made for that. There's probably no team, at least that I can think of off the top of my head, that has as big of a footballing history, as much success on the international stage, as much influence on world football as the Netherlands without having actually won a World Cup. So if you want to see them get over that hump and finally, stop being the underachievers, which really, I mean, they're a small nation. They're good at football. They're probably achieving above their population, etc. But the way we look at this nation with their talent that has come through over decades and their influence on football, they are a bit of an underachiever. So can they shake that off? Can they make a deep run and potentially get to a final and win it? That would be a reason you could choose to cheer for the Netherlands. All right, that is our last team in Group A. Next up, we got the teams in Group B, starting with Iran and the USA. Wait, no. Iran and England, then the USA, then Wales. Peace.